What's going on, guys? Legion Tato here, and today I'd like to share with you a deck that's been really fun to use while still remaining competitive. If you enjoy playing a mid-range game where you take control of the rest of the match starting turn 3, then this Guardians of the Galaxy theme list might be for you. If you don't have every card on this list, or want to know what you can tweak, stay tuned, as I will go over substitutions to accommodate your playstyle. Now, let's go over the battle plan. In the first 2 turns of the game, we're going to want to play our Nebula, Daredevil, and Zabu. Nebula puts pressure on our opponent to play cards in her lane so she doesn't keep buffing herself, giving us a higher probability of triggering our played Guardians there. Then we have Daredevil, who gives us the intel we need on turn 5 to guarantee that our Guardians get their buffs on that turn as well. Jeff is also an option, but not as important to play early as the other 3, who are there to set us up for future turns. Rocket, Raccoon, and Starlord are best played mid to late game, unless it's obvious where our opponent is going to play next, since they don't offer much power without their abilities triggering. Simply guessing is much riskier and more difficult to predict in the first few turns of the game. On turn 3, the ideal play is Storm, preferably in a tied or winning lane. She helps pressure our opponent to commit to the flooding lane turn 4, which gives us ample options to punish them. These punishes include Drax on his own or with Rocket Raccoon if Zabu is out, which is 14 power and hard to beat by turn 4. Pairing Rocket Raccoon with Starlord or Groot is also a great option here. If you didn't draw Storm by turn 3, but did on turn 4, she's still an excellent play, and your follow-up options on turn 5 now include Gamora as well. Otherwise, you have the option of playing any combination of the previously mentioned cards if you didn't get to in the earlier turns of the game. On turn 5, if Daredevil is online, we'll be able to see what our opponent plays before we play our own cards. This is a Guardian's dream, and we should fully exploit this turn by playing them down in response. If Zabu is not in play, and we have multiple 4-cost cards or higher, consider snapping and using Enchantress to dismantle decks relying on ongoing abilities, or playing Shang-Chi on a lane we're contesting. This is a flexible turn, and we should start using resources we know we're not going to be able to on the last turn of the game. Lastly, turn 6. If we were able to win the Storm lane and have Zabu online, we'll be able to play both Shang-Chi and Enchantress to dismantle most strategies. The amount of options here, though, are pretty flexible to say the least. One of my favorite plays is teaming up Rocket Raccoon with Gamora for a 16 power swing. Now on to substitution options. For Rocket Raccoon, you could swap him for anti-meta cards that can help you against certain decks in ladder, such as Shadow King, Luke Cage, Armor, and Mobius. For Groot, you can opt to play another 4-cost card such as Super Skrull, Absorbing Man, or Captain Marvel. If you want to draw into the ones you do have, Chavez could be considered as well. If you don't want to rely so heavily on the Guardian package, you could swap Starlord for Medusa. While she's not as versatile as Starlord, she is much more reliable on triggering her ability. Without the full ensemble of Guardians, Daredevil might not be as useful in this deck, so you could replace him with previously mentioned anti-meta cards as well. However, if you like a more controlling playstyle, you could keep Daredevil and swap Groot for Professor X instead. If you're missing Drax, I recommend Jessica Jones, as they do fill similar roles. The next matches will showcase this deck's strengths to capitalize on and weaknesses to watch out for. And if I've helped you in any way thus far, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to let me know you enjoy these types of videos. Thank you, and enjoy the matches. BeefTube, what's going on? Okay, first location is Vormir. We drew into Drax, Enchantress, Daredevil, and Storm. So, one thing that these 2 locations, Vormir and Vibranium Mines, have in common is that players do not typically want to play there. So, I am going to set up Daredevil here on turn 3. Alternatively, I could have played Nebula and Vibranium Mines. It would have not been so good for us to have those cards in our deck, but it would force our opponent to keep having to play cards there. So we're going to... So they have Jeff. That's okay. We're gonna set up Storm here. Great. That's great for us.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
They move Jeff, so can't move anymore. So our flooded location is safe from that. Okay. So tempted to Zabu Nebula just to have it online for turn 5 and 6. I can also optionally go for Groot and Nebula if I think they're going to have something pretty powerful. We don't have Jeff yet, so it might be better to err on the side of caution. So right now I'm thinking, okay, what can I do turn 5? And it's really only Zabu. If I play Zabu and Nebula, then on turn 5 I can at least play Groot only in the Vibranium Mines though. Let's go with this play instead. Yeah, we don't know what they're gonna play, so... Okay, movement. Okay. So I think we made the right call there.
I am Groot.
I think we made the right call. That Crimson Cosmos is going to affect this deck quite a bit. The reduction that Zabu provides also makes it so that we can't play Drax or Enchantress there on the right if we choose to play Zabu. Okay, that's Professor X, so that's 6. So we can play Zabu Starlord, but then Drax and Enchantress won't be able to play on Crimson Cosmos. And Starlord by himself is not going to be able to beat the 6 at the middle, so our only play is Drax here. I feel comfortable with snapping. And the retreat. Okay, understood. Understood. Good game, BeefTube. So yeah, sometimes you do have to be aware when Crimson Cosmos is there. It does negatively affect Zabu, unfortunately, but you know, that's where you have to make sure that you're taking care of all 3 locations and what they're doing for you or against you. Jazaar, what's going on, man? Alright, we got Camp Lehigh. Adding a random card. Okay, we drew into Moon Knight, so not very good for us. We probably are not going to play that this game. That's okay. We also drew into Zabu, Rocket Raccoon, Shang-Chi, and Enchantress. We could put down Rocket Raccoon as a blind pick, but we're better off saving it for later when we get a better idea of where they want to play. So they just got rid of our Storm. That's one of our more important cards in the deck, so not that great for us, but that's okay. We can start setting up Zabu here. Okay. They played Mantis, expecting to draw 2 cards from our deck, so that didn't work out for them. Sinister London is here. That's a great card for Jeff. So we're gonna place that down. Let's see. Okay. Oh wow, this is just a hate deck. they hate decks. Cable Mantis Yondu. Alright, so now we're going to... I'm comfortable playing Drax and Raccoon here. Yep. Because they keep playing all these cards to get rid of ours, or to copy in case of Mirage. So we're gonna be able to hit that Quinjet to get 2 Drax. So what's nice about this is that Drax gets the buff and then they get sent elsewhere, so with the buff, which is nice for us. Thinking Gamora here as well. Ah, yeah, I was gonna go for the middle as well, but that's okay. Alright, Loki. What do you guys think about Loki since the nerf? It went from a 3-5 to a 4-5. That would have been pretty sick if they had the collector there in play. So we are on the last turn. We do have priority. Our Groot is definitely going to be able to take advantage of Sinister London. There's no way they're not going to play there. I say we want to challenge. Yeah, what we want to challenge is Camp Lehigh and Sinister London. I think that's our best bet. There's Groot. Enchantress. Okay. Oh, wow. Good attempt, good attempt. Thankfully, all of our cards were under 9, so they went under the Shang-Chi radar. Anyway, yeah, good game, Jazaar. Professor VicenteJunior, what's going on? Alright, we're starting off with the Raft. We have Jeff, Nebula, Storm, and Rocket Raccoon. So the raft is again one of these locations that our opponent might be interested in filling up, which gives our guardians an easier time with triggering their abilities. We're gonna play it safe right now. We're gonna give them more incentive to play cards there by playing our Nebula, because if they leave Nebula alone, then we're just gonna keep getting power every turn. Okay, collector.
Breaking news.
Okay, so we know they have Shang-Chi in their hand. Our cards don't end up getting super high in power like that. We don't need throne room, so let's get rid of that.
Hand.
Okay, Craven and Agent Third Scene. We did draw into Starlord, so now we have an option of either filling out the raft or playing our guardians at the flooding location. We have to make a decision, and so do they. But something tells me they are able to move around easier. Since they have Craven, they probably have Spider-Man or Silk, something like that to move around. Okay, if we play Drax here, it is guaranteed that we win. There it is, yeah. It is guaranteed that we win here at this location. So, yeah, that was a good call. I like that call. Turn 5. We know they're going to want to contest the raft now. We can also snap.
Oh, snap.
Because if they don't, we have Jeff online. We're going to have a 6-cost card that costs 0 going into turn 6. So it's looking good. I feel they are going to want to go for the left. And they did. Okay, Thanos. Not bad, not too shabby.
Got him.
And we need to remember that they are going to play a... They do have Shang-Chi. They do have priority though. So they're not even going to be able to contest Thanos. The Collector's not going to be able to get that much more power. I can just... I'm thinking, yeah, put Jeff here. Shang-Chi their Collector. Thanos Daredevil to the right on Daily Bugle. Yeah, I like that play. It's going wide, but it's gonna be a lot to beat. Let's see. Okay. Werewolf can't move. Okay. And Drax. They got our Drax. Okay. So we ended up winning the left and the middle. Yep. Just wasn't enough. Professor VicenteJunior, good game. Good game. So hopefully this is helping you guys sort of see how to be a bit more patient with your guardians and using them at the crucial times to get ahead on the board, leaning into the second half of the game and really ramping up with the guardians. And the flooded location helps a lot because it gives you higher probability to trigger those abilities. Same with locations that both players are going to want to naturally gravitate towards, like the raft, for example. To wrap things up, Zabu Guardians is a super fun take on a mid-range strategy that can take control of the game state early and finish strong. This deck takes the early turns to set up for the rest of the game. It's great at keeping our opponents under pressure and has strong answers to whatever they play. Learning to play the Guardians at the opportune times is key with this deck, not only after Storm or Daredevil, but also punishing our opponent's telegraph plays. I hope you guys take this deck for a spin and have fun making it your own. With that said, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one.